So let's say we have this test that has failed. And what I would traditionally do is we would scroll through the screenshots here. We can find our failed test step, in this case, step 4.3. I'll go ahead and open up the screenshots. And we can use tools like the log information, the console, our screenshot comparison tool. We can even record videos for these entire runs as well. And you can see in this case, this failure is quite apparent. You can see the phone number and fax fields are missing from this application state here. And what I would do from here is I would manually write a root cause analysis, send that to our developers so they can actually adjust things on the application side. But we can actually do a lot of that heavy lifting in true autonomy here using this diagnostics agent. So instead of going through this full process here, what I'll do is I'll close our screenshot, go back up to the top. And you can see in the top right, we have a diagnostics option available. And I'll go ahead and rerun this so you can actually see this working live against the test results here. What it's going to do is it's going to look at all the screenshots, machine learning data, all this information that we captured from the execution of this test case. And it will directly compare it back to results that we've seen in prior test runs. We'll use this information to perform a root cause analysis. And there's actually a couple interesting things that we can do with this report once we do receive it. If this is an application failure, of course, our goal is to get that information into developers' hands as quickly as possible. Really, the gap between QA teams and devs is something that I've seen really slows down the test or the application release cycle. And so using this diagnostic agent, you can see we can identify the root cause for this failure. In this case, you can actually see that the phone number and fax fields are missing from the account information section. So even kind of highlighting the structural awareness that this agent has in place as well. If this is an application failure, then what I can do is I can take this, I'll create a new defect. And we have many out-of-the-box integrations for task tracking systems, test tracking systems. So you can report this in this case out to something like Jira. I don't think it's fully set up here, but what you would see is that full diagnostic report. We would include a link back to this run itself. And one neat part here is that we do not license per user, which means all your developers, stakeholders, any team leads that are interested in seeing what's going on, they can directly access the reports from these tests. And so it really helps with closing the gap between QA teams and devs long-term here. But let's say this is actually a test case failure as opposed to an application failure. What we can do is we can actually view maintenance suggestions here. And you can see we'll actually supply fixes that we can apply directly to the test case itself. There are generally quite a few different types of fixes supplied here. You'll see some that are actually going to update the test data associated here. So in this case, actually updating it. So instead of looking for the phone field, we'll look for the website field. Often we'll be able to also supply configuration changes. So maybe there is a delay in the response to the application. And instead of a kind of a wait in place or something, we need to actually adjust the test configuration to account for the slowness in that lower environment. Then we can actually directly apply those configuration changes using this agent as well. So numerous options we have available to actually help support these tests long-term without having to go through this lengthy diagnostics and maintenance cycle for every new test that we're running here.